were 3 young Japanese men standing out front. I approached them and I began to use the universal language of charades to try to communicate to them that I needed to find an ATM. So I made gestures like, ATM, money, slide. Finally, one of the Japanese men pulled out their wallet and they brought out the equivalent of $100 worth of Japanese currency. I immediately said, no, thank you. And I kind of had one of those out-of-body experiences at that moment. I don't know about you all, but when I travel long distance, I like to dress comfortably. So I was wearing a pair of old beat-up tennis shoes, some sweats, and a sweatshirt. Very good comfort wear. I thought to myself, maybe these guys think I'm homeless. So I immediately got the idea after that, I have a debit card. So I pulled out my debit card, and the gentleman was like, oh, okay. And they joined me in the charades, and they said, closed. So I said, thank you, and I walked away. A couple minutes later, I started to hear some footsteps behind me, and there was the same young Japanese man that was trying to give me the money, only this time he had a huge bag of McDonald's. I again began to say no, thank you, but he kept insisting, and so did my stomach, so finally I accepted his offer. This was one of the nicest things anyone had ever done for me, and it came from a complete stranger in a foreign country. Mark Twain said that kindness is the language that the deaf can hear and the blind can see. It is a universal language like charades. I could have very easily gone my entire life without ever meeting this young man, and now I will remember him for the rest of my life. And this brings me to my last point, which is the importance of positive associations. If you surround yourself with pessimistic, negative, unmotivated people like our friend Carl here, then you're going to begin to get those same characteristics. Jim Rohn, a very great motivational speaker, once said that you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So if you surround yourself with positive, goal-oriented, motivated people, then you are going to develop those same traits. That's my little nephew. Great gym buddy. So just to recap, positive thoughts, positive actions, and positive associations will bring about positive results in your life. Step number 3 is establishment of faith. When people hear the word faith, they think of religion, which is understandable. Faith is defined as a firm belief in something for which there is no proof. Now, that absolutely does include religion. And that faith can be applied to other things as well. Let's say that you're someone who has lived a very tough life, that you dealt with hardship after hardship. You can make the decision to believe that your life is going to continue down that path, or you can choose to believe that things are going to get better, that it was all just a test, and that life and faith are on your side. Another example would be if one of your loved ones was diagnosed with a terminal illness. You can make the decision to believe that things are going to get worse, to focus your thoughts on the 99.9% mortality rate. Or you can choose to believe that your family member is going to get better, that they're going to be that 0.1%, and that fate and love in this world are on your side and want things to go in your favor. I'd like to share another story with you all if you don't mind. Back in July of 2012, I was visiting home from overseas, and I was at my family's 4th of July picnic. While I was there, my uncle pulls me off to the side and he said there was something very important that he needed to tell me. He said that my mother had been wanting to tell me this, but she didn't want me to worry while I was overseas. She had been diagnosed with cancer, and she only had a few weeks left to live. Talk about getting your mind blown. Seeing as I had dealt with loss before, I had made the decision, or I felt the best way for me to spend the last few weeks with my mother was not to focus on this terrible disease or to look at it as a tragedy, but instead as a blessing. I never got the opportunity to say goodbye to my sister. I got to spend that last few weeks with my mother as if they were her last. And we got to know each other better in that short few weeks that we had the entire 26 years prior to that. A few months later, I was back on the ship, and I got the call that my mother had passed away. I immediately panicked. This is just one of the things that made me believe that there was a greater power in this world. The very same day that I found out that my mother had passed away was the same day that a supply ship was bringing goods to our ship. After finding out what had happened, I notified my supervisors, and they immediately jumped into action, and they notified the person who was in charge of supplies and air operations, and they got me a spot on a helicopter, which took me to that supply ship, and within 3 short days, I was back home, and I was able to make it in time for my mother's funeral. There are things happening like this every single day. You need only have the faith and belief to see them. We can easily choose to look at things from a realist perspective and believe that situations such as that are merely a series of coincidences or luck. Or we can choose to take that leap of faith and believe that there is a greater power in this world that's just waiting to be tapped into. I personally believe when it comes to your hopes and dreams and bringing them to a reality, one of the greatest factors in making that happen is having faith in yourself. And you build that faith by working hard and doing what you know in your heart to be right. You must also fight your way through all of the fear and doubt that are constantly trying to sink in, and instead focus your thoughts on all of the happiness and success this world is going to bring into your life. Step number 4 is building your mental and physical strength. We'll start first with ways that you can build your mental strength. The first way that you can do this is by increasing the number of books that you read. In studies done by lifehack.com and don't mess with that dog. Lifehack.com and the Huffington Post, they found the following benefits of reading: reduced stress, increased writing skills, improved memory. It'll help you to sleep better, and it also reduces the risk of developing Alzheimer's disease. Another way that you can strengthen your mind is through positive thoughts, as we discussed in step number 1. And in the book, who in here has read the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill? So in that book, he talks about the importance of creating a statement of things you wish to acquire in your life. Creating these types of affirmations for yourself will help you to focus on your ideas and ultimately bring them to fruition. Next, we will talk about doing this through meditation. By setting aside some time to focus on your thoughts and on your goals, you will be able to better focus on them and ultimately bring them to reality. You can also just set aside some time to sit in silence and see where your thoughts take you, because sometimes there are thoughts deep within our subconscious minds that are affecting us in a negative way that we're not even aware of. I understand I'm running out of time. Yeah. Physical strength. I'll end this on the 4th step. I wouldn't like you guys to stay here too long. So the 4th step is building the ways that you can build your physical strength. I found one of the greatest things that you can use is a website. It's called bodybuilding.com. They have online forums, a store that has supplements, supplies, everything pretty much you need to build a healthy lifestyle for yourself. In a study done by the Mayo Clinic, they found that people who exercise on a regular basis, or the benefits of exercising are to combat health conditions and diseases, naturally boost your energy, improve your mood, enhance your sex life. It also helps to helps you to improve your sleep. Exercising isn't just about looking good, posing in random places, or taking selfies and posting them on the internet. It's a lot more than that. It's about living a lifestyle where you accept nothing but the best from yourself, where you feel good and you're being healthy and you live a long, comfortable life with the ones that you love. A great quote by Arnold Schwarzenegger is that you can either have results or excuses in life, not both. By living that kind of lifestyle and expecting nothing but the best from yourself, you will see major improvements in both your productivity and your happiness as well. I know that I run out of time. I would just like to end this by saying, friends, keep your thoughts optimistic, your actions productive, and your heart receptive to all the love that this world has to offer you. And above all, please do not fear your own greatness. Thank you very much.